Hello, it's Lily. I'm back for another Make With Me. I had a lot of fun doing the last one and I got a lot done, and I got reinterested in my little book here, and it sort of just inspired me to keep editing, because the exciting news is that I finally did the final spread in this book. So this is my last. There are no more pages after this. And this is upside down, but you get the picture. This is the final spread I did in my Oracle book. And it's a gallery wall of photos of women who I just been collecting and just like the way they looked for whatever reason. Some of them are famous people, a couple. And then this is my mom here. And I paired it with a little choose your own message adventure up in the corner here. And you pick one of these. So this has been a long time coming. I had made these little messages and laminated them quite a while ago, probably several months ago. I don't know. Time flies, right? And then I had chosen the photos a while back too, maybe even as long as 6 months ago. And now I'm finally putting them, they are in my book. And that spread is done. So I do want to do something with the back cover. I don't have thoughts about that yet. And I do want to do something with, maybe I might do an artist statement at the back, but it seems like it would make more sense if I did an artist statement in the front. The other thing is that this entire book separated from its cover. So that's something to think about, how to fix that. And then I'm just going to keep editing pages, because as mentioned before, probably like, I would say this section, the beginning, maybe 10 pages or spreads are ones that I would like to revise and update to better reflect my current aesthetic, my developed aesthetic. I started this book probably 5 years ago, so a lot has changed. We did work on this spread last week. We added some of these details in last week. I did a really cool texture add here. And yeah, so I want to keep going with that. And I am going to try to let the original page or spread inspire me, without getting, this is the first time I'm revising a book, so I'm sort of like formulating what is a process that I could feel good about and enjoy doing. Obviously I could just go in and cover over every single one of these pages if I really wanted to. But what I was thinking is there a way for me to revise these ones that I'm not attracted to anymore, but still remain inspired somehow by what past Lily put on the page. And then I'll try to do, again, like 3 quick things and end it at about an hour, I'm assuming. So I have some pre-selected materials. I've been looking at this first spread a lot. I do not like this little head. I'm just gonna yank it out actually right now. I like the person who put this head here because it's sort of my silly side, right? But now that the book has gained more focus, has a real purpose, like I said, I've revised my aesthetic, but I've also, you know, really honed in on what I want this book to mean when it is done and how I want it to function. And this doesn't really do it for me. So maybe I'll use this in a different, it's a really cool, I have no idea who painted this, by the way. But it's a cool, okay, the other thing is I do not like the purple. I don't like this section here. I could leave this lady as my lady on the page. I need to find, I did pull out, I think, another tiny lady, if I can find her, that I like, and she goes well with this yellow. So that's an idea. I definitely need to cover over the purple, and I need to cover over this, because I don't think, well, actually, I may be able to pull these off, at least, so I don't have as many. Yeah. It might be more trouble than it's worth, but we'll see. Because I like this. Oh, here we go. Sometimes revision includes destruction. I do like this photo of myself as a young 40-year-old. I may use this on my either opening page or artist statement if I do something like that. So I'm going to set that aside. Now, things I do like. I got rid of what I don't like. Give less and more. I like that as a message. So if I could get that off, then I could reuse it. Oh, I tore it. That's okay. I think I'll still be able to use it if I can get both parts off. So give less and more. And then there's a secret page down here that is kind of cool. I'd like to reuse this. I like the yellow. I like the copper, and also I don't think I'm going to be able to get all the copper off. This is a paper I actually created at some point. And I do like it, but I don't like it for this spread, so we'll be able to use that in something else. I'm really leaving some chunks behind here, so let me just see. I want to do this without losing the entire page, obviously. I do already have tape. See, I tore the page a bit. I do already have tape down, which causes for an additional challenge, but that's okay. I mean, again, I could have just covered all this up, but this was a very like thick papers, so gluing over this would kind of be a nightmare. So if I can just get some of these bigger pieces off. Then I think we'll be all right. I already have tape here. I know I said that. It'll probably be just gluing over. I don't know if I'm going to leave her or not. I'm going to see how she looks. Here's some of the textures that I want to incorporate that I think actually really go well with this texture, which I already like. So one idea is to make this into an entire spread of its own. Should be pretty easy by really just covering this whole page. And I think I might like her with this darker like texture versus I'm not sure this is going to be a quick process, but what I can do is get some of these textures down. So I like these two together a lot. So I could cover this. And then this is actually quite a thick texture too, but maybe I could do some sort of, I may have to do some sort of weaving with this. So I pulled these apart because I wanted to use the front and the back of the card. This is all the process of sort of like starting over in a way, except I guess what I'm being inspired by is the color palette, which feels important. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to cover over this purple because any of it that shows through is sort of killing the vibe. So I'm gonna have to keep thinking about this one, but I do know that I like this with this. So what I can do is go ahead and paste that in. I don't want to get bogged down in thinking because that seems kind of boring for a video. I can neutralize this very quickly with just some black ink, which might just be a way to get out of the current mindset of this page. I'm not going to be able to ink over the tape. That's one problem. If I'm making anyone question my decision to cover these pages in packing tape, you are not wrong. There's also probably Mod Podge on here, so I don't know how well this is going to work. We might be making up a whole new texture. But if I could somehow just make this a neutral background again, I might be able to work out what I want to do with it. Honestly, this might be a case where I just pull out this whole page. There's a lot. I don't like this part. And this has a lot of tape on it. So this could become the pair to this. I'm gonna have to think about it. If I can somehow salvage this page, I would like to keep it, but it seems like the marker is definitely not going to be the answer because I just have too many elements on here that I can't get off. This is the part of the process where it's got to look really bad, and then you push through it and figure out what you really want to do. Or in my case, figure out how to make it into something that I like enough to stop fiddling with it. Yeah, unfortunately, I just can't mark over this packing tape. So this whole page, if I keep it in here, is definitely going to require a full collage over it where you can't see the purple underneath. So we have to think about that. That's another day's. I'd like to not lose a page because, you know, it's kind of sad I have, towards the middle end of the book, I did start gluing pages together because it makes them so much more sturdy. Okay, we're gonna leave that. Let's go ahead. I know I want to use this texture here. So let's go ahead and get that glued on. And at least we have something to show for our efforts. And see, even that black isn't really covering over the purple. So I'm just going to hang on to these other elements, including the message, give less and more. I might not include her. One reason I would include her is that this is art from the book itself, and a lot of the original artwork in the book did not get preserved, so it might be nice to have that one reminder of what the book was about. But yeah, I'm gonna make myself a little pocket to save all these disparate pieces. I'm gonna go ahead and put myself in there too. And the message that I want to save. And then I'll just clip all that together so I don't lose any of those pieces. But yeah, like I said, I like these together, and I have an area that I know needs to be covered. So, is there a downside of doing this? I can't think of one. Excuse me. Just trying to clear off some of that white. I could do. I do it upside down. There are words written on this, but they don't mean anything. This texture is one of a piece of 100 or more that I created to make my dining room wallpaper. But for some reason, this one has blue included in it. I'm not sure why, because I was only using one color paint, so it probably just came off the plate itself. And so it's a little dark for what I'm doing in my dining room, so I decided not to use it in there. But I really like the texture. It's cool. So we could just get something else going. Sometimes it's just more interesting to have strips versus one big chunk. What I could do is like this. We could go up. This over this. So they're sort of coming down from the top. It's something in my throat today. How's that for a start? And this is just part of the background once again, so we will be covering it. We will be adding more to this page at some point. Just need to get my brain around it. See, all of this is under tape. Let's do it. I'm gonna use a glue stick. Make my life easy. And just glue it down. You can always revise more. I haven't gone back and worked any further on any of the spreads I did last week because I was working on finishing that new one. And this week I'm going to be away, so I probably won't do any more. But hey, there's no rush. These things, it's interesting to now have an entire book that I'm really revising at once to make into a finished piece of art. It's pretty cool, I must say. So, yeah, just take my time getting through it, and the goal is to have it done by the end of the year. I would like to have at least 2 of my started altered books done by the end of the year. Exciting thing is if I finish one, then I could start another one and not feel bad about it. Not that I haven't already. I mean, I've worked a lot in that niche dictionary one on these videos. I don't think it would take a lot to finish it, but I'm not going to set that necessarily as a goal for the year because I have a lot of other goals for the year when it comes to my art, so I don't want to add on too much. This already looks better. Maybe, hopefully. Looks better to me. Okay. Well, that's that. I'm going to save those scraps. Okay, that's a step forward on that page. Now, the other thing that crossed my mind for this video is this spread with a lot of red on it. We had discussed that. I'm okay with this as a pattern. And I like the poem, which came from the text on the page. Unsurprisingly, will took power. I like my little... I like the idea of my little book. I'm not sure I like the execution of that idea. I do not like the message so much. You have abundance. So what I could do is just, instead of pulling those off, is just cover over this. I don't have a lot of red. I'm not attracted to red as a color. Actually don't care for it that much. But I got this at when we were in Portland, Maine. This was on something we got. And I just thought it would make a cool texture. So I'm just thinking, what if we just add to this as a texture, and then I would need to do something over it too. And I would need to put it a few places, I think. I don't want to cover up the goddess. So I could put it up there. I could put it down here or use it. It might make me like these polka dots more if I surrounded. I think I like that, putting it around here. I could cover up a little bit of this one because let's give it a shot. This already has a fold in it, which I don't really. I guess one of the things I'm trying to do is revise using some of my current collage practices. I've mentioned them, I'm sure, all of them at one point or another. You know, so I guess the question I'm asking is like, how would present Lily have gone about, you know, using these elements? Definitely my collage style has, I would say, developed or progressed a lot into a very maximal style, but that is in line with, it is consistent with my personality. So so I think, do I want to keep going with this or do I want to find another? Because if I go around, do I want to spread the texture out or do I want to? Because like I could do a strip across the top of this. This paper tears very nicely. It's like a tissue paper. So I can do a strip across the top. I'm not worried about preserving these words. So I can go over them. Then I could do a strip here in the middle. Oh, there's an idea of just to keep desire, abundance. I just wish that I hadn't painted in these. I can always find the word desire again. I don't know if that's, it's gonna take a lot more texture to make this into something that, but I think this is a good start. Is to include 3 pieces of this texture and kind of call that a day. The other red I have glaring out at me is this cool, the textured piece of red paper that I just hole punched, and I could do more hole punches. So that's another thing I can add without taking away from what's currently there. You definitely need something. I would need something a lot thicker. I have more of this red paper somewhere if I could find it, that I used on a political poster, I believe. So we're already liking this more and more. That doesn't look bad. I think I might commit to this. Still gonna need, I'm gonna need more of this, which I know I have, and I'm gonna need at least one more. Texture that matches the color scheme, which I'm sure I could find. All right, let's go ahead and put that down. Sometimes you just gotta trust your instincts and know that the rest is gonna work itself out. Okay, so I had this is going with the theory that I'm either gonna keep this word desire as a verb now, desire abundance, or I'm going to replace it with the same or different word that takes up the same amount of space. So that part is up in the air. All right, let's go ahead and get these other. I do try to kind of follow this odd rule of odds, I call it, for including texture of just, you can have 1, you can have 3, you can have 5. That's not a rule as in like it'll look bad otherwise. It's just, that's a rule that aligns with my aesthetic and makes, just gives me, sort of a something to hang on to. Like if I'm gonna put this texture in, I'm gonna put it in at least 3 places. I don't know why that makes me feel safe and secure, but it does. So we're fine with it. Trying to keep the red is an interesting challenge, which I think I'm up for. I already don't hate this as much now that some of it is covered up. It is, words are a texture, so that was cool. I'm glad I got to use this. I'm not gonna create more of this now. I'm gonna come back to that. There's my other blue page. So, moving right along. Am I liking this better? Yeah, I'm liking it better. I think I would definitely keep going with this. Adding in, I could also try to find a pattern that has some of these other colors in, so it's not just red. That could be something that's making me not like it. So I could try to find a pattern with these jewel tones and add that in places. Okay. The wheels are spinning. Okay, the other thing I sort of pre-selected, which I don't know if I have a good place for this, but I have this book of jewelry designs that I got off the free shelf at the library. Some of this would just work for, in fact, this page right here, this section portrait right here might work as another texture, because it kind of matches. I'll cut that out now, but I'm not going to attach yet. I need to think about it. But anyway, this book has some cool jewelry pieces in it, and it's like really large pictures. So if you remember from a couple videos ago, one of the ways to add texture to a page is to give your lady jewelry. So I was wondering if there was a woman in the book who I want to revise who could take a bit of jewelry. I need to find someone. I don't know if there is. I mean, she's already got a really fabulous, like, snake type necklace. I gave her earrings. These guys are pretty. And here's someone. It's not a very large photo, but she could certainly handle some ornamentation. Usually I kind of make my own jewelry. This lady has really awesome earrings already. I would like to do more with this page. I like the poems as sublime, gay dances represent art, and create a space of transformation is the message, which I like. So, I don't know. What if maybe I'll find a piece of jewelry or various, because I could also cover up her earring here with something a little more interesting. I really need something with these colors. This is one option. Has the turquoisey colors. There's lots of cool collage fodder in here. There's little text. This one says peace on it. It's the right color, so let me cut it out just in case we want to use it. Really looking for something in the right color scheme more than anything else. Let me tell you, this jeweler, whoever it was pretty badass. Like, here's a really cool earring that I could add to someone's. But she already has a cool earring. So. This has some of the orange. Let me pull that one out. Maybe I'm combining. This has a cool medallion. Of course, I just pulled off half the orange. Am I muttering yet? Ooh, this is a good one. This would be good. I think this would go really well. It doesn't have the pink, but it has a lot of cool bubbles. So what are we doing? Maybe we're making our own bubbles. These are pink. Some pink. Okay. That looks good as far as usable usable stuff. So I'm not concerned with keeping this excuse me, this part of the page. So that's one thing I can cover up. I do like her headdress. I'll keep that. The orange is good. Ooh, there's a dragonfly on here. I love dragonflies. As a symbol for a transformation, dragonflies. I guess butterfly is the typical, but I didn't find a butterfly. I like the orange. Just have to glue those back together. It looks more like an earring. Maybe I'm replacing her earring just to give a pop of color in that area. What do you think? No one's gonna know the old earring is behind there is one consolation. You know what also this highlights? She's got a little tattoo right on her ear that is a heart. Maybe I'm making her an earring. What do we think? Sounds like a good plan to me. It would have been easier if I hadn't ripped that page, but such is life. Get rid of that. So I definitely want to do a better job of carving this out. I can't take all the bubbles, all of the white off, because that would make it very difficult to glue together. But I will do my best to get the white off so it looks more like an actual piece of jewelry. And less like something I cut out of a magazine. My little scissors. I brought my little scissors today. I am prepared for anything. There we go. Let's do the same on the other half. I could cut these orange circles all the way out. But I still can't completely get rid of the white just because of the way this is printed. I don't think it would work. I want to be able to glue it back together. Okay. I'm just gonna glue it down right on her ear. And I like it because then this cuff kind of, having that as a cuff kind of just highlights that little heart tattoo, which I personally, I don't even remember seeing, so it's cool. Yeah, I definitely like this. All right, I'm going for it. I'm just gonna put a bunch of glue down first and see if I can get the two pieces to match up and cover. I want to cover as much of the old earring as I can in the process. It doesn't matter if you put too much glue stick because it's going to dry clear. So it's going to provide her with more. One thing is, she has really pretty makeup on. So we could give her a smudge of pink makeup, maybe. I may use, what do I do with that pink? I might use this to add down here. It's nice too. I think it's nice to have more texture on here. So if I want to get this on there, this is a small piece and I want to get it on here 3 times. It's gonna be a challenge. Sort of like this. So I don't really want to cover the blue. The blue is okay. We do that and something up here in this area where I've already got this mini collage going with my heart and my message. Nice, if I could, ooh, look at this. I can actually get this under her. Ooh, looky. Looky, looky. All right. That. Is this piece too big is the question. It's quite large. Like ultimately, this is all very subjective, obviously, but I'm trying to be intentional with my choices so that I'm not coming back a 3rd time and revising all of this. So that would work. Just adding in some bubbles, pink bubbles. Let's do it. I mean, have I like mentioned how much fun I'm having doing this? It's crazy. I think I'm having more fun revising than I had doing the initial spreads, although, you know, hindsight is 20/20, right? Easy to say that now. I'm sure I enjoyed myself in the moment. But I think that was about the novelty of what I was doing. And this is really about, you know, the curation of a piece of art that I want to put into the world. So that's a very different intention, obviously. Again, it's all subjective, but when I do share the book, if I am so lucky as to be able to share it with other people, I want to share something that I'm really proud of, every single part of it. All right, so what I did is there's a part of her face that kind of is coming up a bit. So I'm going to slip these under there and make it more seamless part of the collage so you can't tell that I added it after the fact. Maybe I should put this part in there. Yes, I should. And then I'll glue down her face again, but unfortunate for me. I didn't do a good job of gluing her. So now I get the chance to add this in and make it look. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and glue her nose down. Very cute. I wish I had, well, I guess I do have some more of this. I was gonna say I could add more of this in and it might. The thing is I can't get it. Oh, I can get it under her. There's just this, ooh, nice. It's just this one part of her that actually got glued. So, all right, so I can put this under here. I don't want to cover up my original message, so I need to pull this off. I don't want to put it under here without covering the message. I'm gonna have to re-glue that. Yeah, how's that? Is this at all transferable onto the video? By the way, I have no idea why my videos upload sideways. I hope it's not annoying if anyone is actually watching these, because if I don't know why it's happening, I can't do anything to fix it. And I don't know why it's happening. Please leave a note in the comments telling me how to be a YouTuber more effectively. Okay. All right, I'm liking that. I'm liking that. I do have more of this pink that we could use if we want to. I would need to, I could soften this. Just softening this edge, would that be worth using? Oh no. This is a nice piece. So I could just kind of soften this. Or, so that would be breaking my own rule if I did that. I could also put it sort of on this side of her. I don't know if I want to commit to an entire. I don't know what I'm going to do in this section, so I don't want to commit to putting that down. I am liking it though. I am liking it. I am liking it. Yeah, maybe in a future video we will figure out a way to enhance this, because these other necklaces that I chose have the blue, so we could add that in maybe. I don't know. Nobody knows what's gonna happen. I really like the earring. I'm glad we did that. This is making a little more sense. So a goal would be to turn this section into what I call like a mini collage. So just in this section, there would be its own little mini collage. That's something we could do. With some more like texture, pattern, you know, stuff that matches the overall collage but is its own. It would really just be right here. This is the interactive element, so yeah, making this brighter in some way and also more sturdy so that I don't have to fold it down. That's gonna take thinking. I like that this is its own thing. So I think the question is whether we would want to have like a frame around that. This could be another interactive piece. where you open it and you read the poem. Especially since the messages create a space of transformation, that seems like that would be an appropriate place to put like a book within a book. I have these little scraps that are in the right color palette and would add in some white sort of as relief. Relief for the eye. Some of them have a lot of pink on them and some of them don't, so it's kind of finding the right. I don't necessarily want to introduce more colors, more than the pink, orange, blue. But I bet if I look through all my textures that I would have something. Well, I think I'm gonna end the video here. Those were the 3 things I wanted to do. Add in texture, add a piece of jewelry. And then actually we got to add more than just jewelry here. And work on liking my red spread a little more, which I think I do. And I'm thinking, as long as I'm thinking out loud here, I've mentioned before that I don't like this spread at all. So one idea is to like really develop this into a full spread, bring in more of these other colors. I really like this image to bring in more softness, I guess, but it's the right color palette. So I think we could definitely do that. And also, how do we do this in a way that maybe creates some more interaction of some sort, something the reader can do. There's this, which I'm on the fence about, but maybe we make this more interactive, like a longer book that spans. I've done books that span across the page, then you fold them up. That's an idea. That would be more fun. More fun. I don't know. And as a relative statement, I don't know what I'm comparing it to. So, but yeah, I think if we're going with the message desire abundance, another thing I want to do during this revision is be more intentional about the art that is supporting this message. So desire abundance seems like this is a prime place to have like a 2-page full-on collage similar to my full spread 2-page black and white collage that's in the back of this book. And then, you know, I still add in, I want a real woman, quote unquote, on every page. So if I'm using this as a piece of texture and not as the woman per se, then I could find another woman to add to. Goals. So maybe in our next video, we could hone in on this spread and see if we could get it done. In the meantime, I can I can pull patterns, find a woman. Maybe I'll make the book on screen so you can see how the process goes. I'll write all this down so I don't forget. If you're watching and that sounds like a fun video, then let me know in the comments. I'll probably do it whether you think it's going to be fun or not. But hey, a little validation never hurt anybody. So, all right, thank you for being here. And yeah, This is the process of process art. Sometimes you get a lot done and sometimes you just get started. Okay, bye.